Hello, hello, hello. It's Lisa Copeland, and tonight is Friday night. And no, is it Saturday?
It's Friday.
Friday. Okay, gosh, it's like I'm losing track of time. That is what the quarantine does to you, okay? And, I've got the distinct honor, somebody's got feedback. I've got the distinct honor of hosting the 24-hour Facebook Global Summit with 46 of the biggest rock stars on planet Earth. Every one of them was hand-chosen, hand-curated by us on our team as being business experts in their field. And so I'm doing a bunch of shows right now to get everybody excited because we kick off at 11 Central tomorrow night, midnight Eastern. And we're going to go 24 hours every 30 minutes with business experts from around the globe who are donating their time, their treasure, and their talent because they want to pour back in. But the best part about this story, y'all, is that we put this together a month ago before the world fell apart. And something inside of me said we needed to do it. And the minute I put out the call, every one of these experts that you're going to meet said, sign me up. And then everything happens, and it's such a time as this. And so I'm excited to introduce you to the panel today. We're going to be on a hard stop in 50 minutes, 5-0, because we've got a second show coming up where you get to meet 10 or 5 more of our amazing panelists. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to one of our first business experts, Goss Gibson from Austin, Texas. Jan, welcome. Thank you for serving. And I want you to tell everybody out there a little bit about you. But before that, you all share. All right, Jan, you're up, my friend.
Well, hello, Lisa. I don't know if there's a delay or what, but I am speaking. I'm Goss Gibson, and I guess my claim to fame is I'm Lisa Copeland's friend. You know, I think that's what it's all about, right, Lisa? I have a business here in Austin called Civility Consulting. How many think we could use a little more civility in the world? Maybe, Amen. Perhaps. I am an executive coach and a speaker and a trainer and mostly just a lover of people.
And an author.
I love humans. Yes, I am a best-selling author. No one was more surprised than I when my book went to #1 within 24 hours. I was like, what? So it was a little racy subject there.
I was going to say, Jan, you have to tell everybody about your book because your book is amazing.
Well, you have to understand my brand is show up well. I help people show up well. So this is bedroom etiquette, how to show up well behind the doors.
Yes.
So it's been a lot of fun on every level.
Yes, it has. And so my one little Jan story is that 4 years ago when I decided to make a big pivot, there were 2 people that I talked to about it. And 2 of them are on this live stream today. Miss Jody Devere, who I'm going to introduce next, and Goss Gibson. And because of her, that was my license plate for 2 years. I actually bought the license plate before I ever had a car to put it on. And so anyways, it's one of my favorite stories. And of course, Jody was somebody that I consulted with also in confidence. All right, Jan, we're going to come back to you. Our next esteemed expert is Jody Devere, founder of Ask Patty, leading authority when it comes to female consumers and the co-founder of the Women in Automotive Conference and an absolute global pioneer when it comes to female consumers. Jody, welcome.
Hey, Lisa, thanks for inviting me. Hello, everyone out there in Facebook land. What can I say? For around 20 years, I've been advocating for women in the automotive space, consumer women, and now I think really women who are working or should be working in our industry to advocate bringing more women into our industry. We're still at around 26.2% of the workforce in the U.S., developing more leaders as women and mentoring more women. Lisa doesn't need mentoring anymore. She's a rock star now.
But Jody, there was a day that I did, and you were so we all need mentors.
Peer mentor. But I would say that my who knew way back when that at the 20-year mark, we still have a lot of work to do. It has been a real mission and vocation for me personally that really gets me out of bed every morning. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you for coming, Jody. All right, our next esteemed colleague and presenter, expert, is Mr. Adam Marburger. Now, Adam's got a pretty interesting business model. He owns a jujitsu. Did I say that right, Adam?
Said it right.
I did. And he's a real estate investor, and he owns a company in the automotive industry that helps automotive dealers with their finance and insurance departments. So there's nothing Adam Marburger doesn't do. So Adam, talk.
Yeah,
Meet
so
everybody.
first of all, it's nice to hang with everybody. And I'll tell you, when Lisa asks me to do something, I just do it, right? I'm here. When Lisa says, hey, you want to be a part of this? I just do it. And, first of all, this world has been on a negative path over the last couple of weeks, right? Really the last week. So it's nice to just spend some positive energy and spread some joy and some bliss into the world. So I'm just honored and thankful to be a part of y'all. And so what I do is, I live my life, I always say, in three buckets. It's in real estate, it's in automotive, and it's in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So what I like to do, and what I'm going to be teaching on, how can we possess indestructible competence in our lives with martial arts? So I'm going to actually, we're going to talk a little bit, but we're actually going to have some fun and show a few things. So I'm going to teach maybe how to throw a couple combinations for the ladies. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Nice.
And I have 3 daughters. And so I'm all about giving my baby girls the skill set in the world to go out and succeed. So my oldest daughter, Anna, she's going to be joining us, and she's going to be sharing some techniques, and we're going to have a lot of fun on Sunday. So yeah.
Actually, Anthony told me about that. I'm super excited. Adam. And as I continue, you all are going to see how multi-dimensional all of our panelists are. Everybody had to be screened. Like, we had to decide, how do you bring the 46 best business experts in the world together so that they can share out their expertise. Our next panelist is Miss LB, LisaBeth Thomas.
Yay.
Another one who's got an amazing resume from being the founder of Texas Women in Business, which is over 1,000 women in Texas that she's brought together. She's got a very exciting project that she's heading up with the governor's office, which I'm going to let her tell all of you about that. She is a speaker. She is an advertising and marketing genius, better known as the Big Cheese. Lisa, LB.
That's me. And my big claim to fame is I get to introduce Adam on Sunday, because I'm at 3 and he's at 3:30. So I'll be
okay, good. I didn't know that.
I'm excited. And I'm with you, Adam. If Lisa says, do something, it's when, where, okay, how, whatever. So that says a lot about Lisa and all of her friends. But I am so excited and honored to be here, because yes, I wear 2 hats. Adam, you wear 3, I wear 2. I am the founding president of Texas Women in Business. And we are 10 years old, and we're across the state. And I have the honor, I was asked to come back as the 10th year president to celebrate this great organization. And my other hat is I had an ad agency for almost 20 years here in Austin, and dissolved that a couple of years ago because I just really wanted to get out and start speaking again and doing creative consulting. So I have a ball, and that's what I'm going to be talking about on Sunday. My topic doesn't show up, even though it's in there. For some reason, it doesn't show up. I'm talking about the 10 marketing mistakes to avoid. And also, I'm doing a bonus of 5 social media mistakes to avoid right now.
Oh God, please.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome right now.
Can you do 10 of them to avoid? Because I've seen 10 in the last,
We could spend like the whole 24 hours on that subject. Absolutely. But there's some really great things that people are doing that I want to also acknowledge. So that's awesome. So I know you're going to come back to me. So we will talk about the big event that we're doing, and Lisa and Jan and many people on this group of women joining us with this event at the end of June with the governor. So I know everyone is back.
LB, why don't you tell us about that real quick? We're getting a little bit of feedback from you, but I really want everyone to know out there it was your vision, and you spearheaded this. Now, and of course, when LB calls, right, Jan, we all say yes. Yeah, but I want everyone to know the magnitude of your heart when it comes to women and serving, the great state of Texas. So if you just give us a snapshot of that.
Yes, I will. Thank you. Texas is #1 in human trafficking. And Every single person except one that I've spoken to, because she was a survivor, had no idea. And so working with the governor's office, I met with them and came up with the idea of why don't we do an awareness campaign? So the governor gave us the capital on the 25th of June that we're bringing women's organizations, and now they're organizations and corporations across the state, their Chamber of Commerce, because I have men saying, we have kids too. So we're going to have the capital full of people that want to make a difference. And we don't want to be number one in human trafficking. We want to be like 10, 11, 12, if nothing at all. But the other part of it is that we're working really closely on a campaign for prevention. So we want less victims. We want to bring awareness, but also do something about it. So Lisa's heading up the marketing and PR, so you know it's going to be badass. We've got the governor's office, First Lady is speaking, as well as we're really thrilled to say Alexis Jones of I Am That Girl campaign is going to be a part of this. So it's going to be big. So we're looking for everybody across the state to get involved. And we'll talk about, you'll be seeing a lot of that as we get closer to June.
Yeah, we'll have to, Jody Devere will have to come in, and she can stay at my house and be a part of that, Jody. So let's talk about that off camera. All right. And last but not least, ever least, my very dear friend, the co-founder of Vista Dash, author of an amazing book, just absolutely amazing, father of absolutely the three most beautiful daughters ever, who I love because I've had the pleasure of staying at his house, the husband of Kelly, and just an all-around guy that gets it, Dan Moore.
Thanks, Lisa.
You're welcome.
You know, it's funny. You said, hey, you can go around and introduce yourself. I'm like, does anybody need to do an intro after Lisa does it? Which works out great for me because this one area that's not my fun spot. But hey, happy to be on here. I think this is a great cause. You know, obviously there was conversation and the call came before what we're facing today. So it's definitely timely and much needed. Kind of, you know, my background, yes. So I work in automotive, but at the same point in time, I took this stab at writing a book about, you know, helping people get unstuck. So I'm going to focus on that and kind of challenge people, especially right now. I think we're finding that maybe our whys might be a little bit of a lie, because when you take back all the things, which is what we don't have at this current moment, and we're just with our families and our loved ones, suddenly maybe our whys become a little bit more real. So gonna hit on that a little bit.
Wow. God. I mean, so if all of you out there can see, I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, people are not bringing to this summit what they do for a living. Like, it doesn't matter if we're in automotive or insurance or real estate or jujitsu or whatever it may be. I mean, we're not here to promote our businesses. We're not here to promote anything other than pouring into a nation and a world really that's hurting right now more than any of us have ever seen in a lifetime. So Jan, I want to come back to you, and I want to talk. I want you to just talk for a couple of minutes about how have you felt over the last couple of weeks, and what is it that you believe that this summit is going to bring to anybody that tunes in. You know, and again, just so everybody knows, we are going to record everything, and we're going to upload it to a platform that'll never be a charge. That is my commitment. Made off of this. This is 100% of 46 people giving their time, treasure, and talent to do something good. Because if one person watches one of our experts and it gives them an aha moment, it gives them hope, it gives them anything, then it was all worth it. But so Jan, talk to us how you've experienced the last couple of weeks and what your hopes are for this summit.
Yeah. Well, I think the good news is that my husband is still alive. He still is alive and breathing. And that's a good sign. I'm still alive and breathing because we have been in the house with each other for 25 hours a day. And so I think it's super important to learn how to dig down and really show up well in these moments, because it's easy to show up well when everything's peachy. Wouldn't you agree?
Yep.
But when the pressure is on, you know, if I squeeze a tube of toothpaste, guess what's going to come out? Toothpaste, because that's what's in there. And right now the squeeze is on. And so, you know, either there's a lot of F-bombs coming out or a thank you, Jesus coming out. You know, it just depends on what's in there. So I think it's just really been a great time to really do some soul searching and look at, wow, what is in me? Because when the pressure's on, that's what comes out, is whatever's in there.
And Jan, think about this, the old saying, no pressure, no diamonds.
That's right.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
And we love diamonds.
Exactly.
So hopefully, everybody out there that is experiencing, layoffs or furloughs or just more time on your hand, or you're working from home, that you take this time and you sharpen your axe. And not your axes. And I've got an executive coach, and what he said to me was, are you going to be a lioness or a lion? And I'm like, a lioness. He goes, good, because the rest of the people will be lambs. And that is where we all need to take this time, because to me, this is the great equalizer. Right now, we've all got the same amount of time to sharpen our axes. So it's what we do with this time when we've got some time on our hands, right? Will it be a good thing, or will it be a detriment? Only you can decide, people. All right, Jody Devere, same question. How has your world changed in the last 2 weeks, and what do you see coming from all this?
Well, to be honest, I made the decision way back in 2008 to go on the cloud and send all my employees to work from home offices, including myself. And so I have not had, from a business point of view, a really big change. And I came originally from the high-tech world, where there were a lot of very severe up and down cycles where you had to change products, change. It's actually the reason I came into automotive in 2000, because the cycle times were getting very short. This is important. And I mean, there were periods of time when I had to lay off 500 people on one day, kind of like what's happening now. So I'm really glad I have that experience. So my work life, so I'm a person that always has plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. And like you, Lisa, I've been working on some things at the end of last year that I'm launching now that will hold both my businesses in good stead during this difficult period. I'm grateful for what I'm not experiencing too. There is a feeling of foreboding because there's a lot of things that I don't know what's going to happen. I think I'm hearing that from a lot of people. But I just want to say for the record that last year was one of the most challenging years of my life. Lisa, you know very well.
I do.
It was one hit after another, but I came out of it smelling like a rose, mostly because people like you, the industry, family, friends, my church, supported me as an individual and as a family. I got tremendous support. So I think I'm more on the other end, where I feel that I want to give back and share how to thrive and survive through a very difficult crisis. For those of you who don't know, my children lost their home in the Woolsey fire. My mother tried to die. My son tried to die a few times. I even tried to die. I was on the brink of death last year. All of this happening in very quick succession. I will not bore you with the details, but it was just one of those years where the hits kept coming in. But look at me, I'm good to go.
And Jody, can we just talk about your hair? You look better than I've ever seen you in all the years I've known you. You look amazing. So this is
there was a bonus at the end of the year. I just got served a beer by the love of my life. And
cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
And that came at the end of the year. Thank you. Yep. Cheers. This is 420 beer, very hard to come by. And so there have been some happy lines. I am the happiest that I have been in many years too.
It shows, my friend.
And so that's what I want to share with people, that yes, life, not everyone who's experienced this has gone through one of those really crushing life cycles. I've been through so many of them. I think I have a lot of spiritual, emotional muscles to go through things like this a little more comfortably. I want to share those things with other people now to help them.
I love that, because God knows there's a lot of people out there hurting right now.
Yes, sir.
Adam Marburger, talk to us about, how your world's been turned upside down the last couple of weeks, and what is your hope and your prayer for what would come out of this summit?
Yeah. So, I mean, on the surface level, I mean, things right in front of us aren't fabulous. I mean, here, my businesses have been absolutely negatively impacted. I mean, my gym's closed down. We're sitting still. The real estate industry is a little bit weird right now. And the automotive industry, my dealers aren't selling cars like they were 2 weeks ago. Therefore, my income has been impacted. But here's what I know is I was just speaking on this morning. There's two people in the world. There's those that look at things for what they are right here and right now, and look at things at what they could be. And I know if we look at history, the opportunities that exist right in front of us, they're real. And I'm spending this time right now. I have a little extra time, strategizing, studying, taking information, networking with the right people. And I think that this too shall pass, and things are going to be great. I mean, right now it hurts, it stings, but there gives us a lot of opportunity right now to spend time, sharpening our blade. You said sharpening your axe.
Yeah.
I'm a lifelong martial artist, and when I used to train for fights or jiu-jitsu tournaments, my coach and I, we would talk about, let's sharpen our blade in private, so the results in the ring or in the cage or on the mat will speak for themselves. So it's the things that we do right now as a small group of like-minded individuals. It's the strategizing and the sharpening of the axe or the blade that's going to show in public here in the next couple of months. That's my mindset. I believe it to be true. And every day I try to spread that. I try to spread it to other people and give that joy to others. So I want to be hopeful.
No, and I agree with you. Adam's got 3 daughters, and you're in a part of the country, kind of like Jody, that's very much affected. But again, it is what we're going to do with this time, because you can control what you can control. That's it. You can't control what you can't control. I learned that. I'm old enough to realize that, but I can control the 24 hours a day that the good Lord's given me. And a lot of us travel. Dan and Adam and myself and Jody, we're on airplanes because that's how we made a living. And so we're not now. I was supposed to be in New York this week. We're not. And so now it's what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to get better. I'm going to come out of this better, smarter, with a better game plan than I had before, and help as many people along the way. And I know so many of you feel the same way. So Adam, thank you for that. LB, LisaBeth, talk to us. 2 weeks ago, life was great, man. We were crushing it. Everything was good.
Yeah, we're all getting together, talking about happy hours and bridal showers and all the things that we wanted to do. And I literally and watched the seeds in my garden to see if they've germinated. I'm like, come on, have you grown? Have you done anything? But today I'm proud to say I have 8 beans and 4 cucumbers and a bunch of carrots and 6 zucchini plants. So my everyday going, come on, give me something. But I love what Jan had to say too, because I like all of you, I'm using this time to better myself and to do things. I now have time to watch webcasts and Facebook Lives and things I haven't had a chance. And I watched John Maxwell the other day, and I know, Lisa, you love John Maxwell, and you did leadership, and you're certified in everything possible. Mm-hmm. He said the other day on a podcast, choices make us, crisis reveals us.
Oh, somebody type that in. I see Melissa Burrows on. Choices make us.
Crisis reveals us.
Crisis reveals us. Somebody put that in the comments for us, please. That is brilliant.
And that's going back to what Dan was saying, squeezing something. So it's when we're squeezed, what's going to be revealed, what's really going on in there. So I thought that was brilliant. So I've been enjoying that time as a speaker and as a creative consultant. Everything's coming to a screeching halt. And that's why I'm so excited about this opportunity, Lisa, is to be able to share some ideas for things to avoid right now and things to do right now, because you do not want to go dark at this point in time. You have a captive audience, but it's how you do it is what's going to make the difference. Either you're going to be a pain in the ass and, oh my God, I don't want to see this anymore, or you're going to be someone that's going to have top of mind awareness. So that's what I'm going to talk about on Sunday, is how to make the best advantage for your business without being pushy.
Okay, so let me ask you about that, LB, because some of the there's several facts about her. She's produced many shows, but she was one of the producers of Hope Floats, the movie, and many, many other big projects and television shows and reality shows. So, she really, when she walks her talk and she understands. So, one thing, LB, I want to talk about, and just, we're kind of going off subject, but we got a little bit of extra time, is tonality, right? Some, like, I look at the auto manufacturers, they're really good. It's like, hey, you might need a car right now. If you do, we're going to give you 0% for 84 months, and you don't have to make a payment again the rest of your life.
I want that deal right now.
Right. Like, I'm like, I want one of those cards. I want one of those cards. Okay. But I know we've got some feedback, guys and gals, and I'm sorry, but let me ask you something, LB, because, and I want to hit on this because I think this is important for everybody to hear who would watch this. Talk to us, because you are an expert, about tonality when we're sitting in the biggest crisis our country, our world, I keep saying country, our world has ever been in. And some ads are so spot on, and some people like it's so spot on, and then there's other people that are like, hey, this doesn't affect me, it's fake news, it's not the flu, blah blah blah. So talk to us about how brands are going to be made or lost during this time.
How they're going to be made is by having a heart and understanding and really connecting with their target demographic, which it's most of the people right now. I'm not a Burger King person. Sorry, Burger King. I'm not a fast food person, but I love they're giving away 2 kids meals with every adult meal to help. I think it's brilliant. It's right now, if people are trying to sell on social media or trying to sell, right now, everybody's scared and they're holding on to their pocketbook. This is not the time to sell, but this is the time to say, we're in this together. Today, I loved it. I got an email from Hand and Stone, which is a day spa here in Austin, that the email was, we know you can't come in and we want you to say, we're not even open, but here's how you can do home facials, mini home facials. And they gave recipes. That resonated with me of, you know what, when it's time to go back, I'm going to remember you because you cared about me in this situation. So that is why you don't want to go dark, but you want to use your time, your social media, your marketing dollars smart to serve others, because top of mind awareness, I can't tell you how many times we've had clients that have come to us and said, well, I'm cutting back my marketing budget. No, this is the time that you put it out there because, oh my God, you have a captive audience. Hello. We're home. We're on our computers. We're on our TVs. This is the time. But do it wisely. Do it with a serving heart, and that's going to make people remember you.
Well, and LB, I'm going to switch over to Dan, and I think the two of you could have this conversation with us. Dan is a digital marketing expert, not only in the automotive space, but in other spaces. And Dan did a really good show yesterday that he talked about, you go where the customers are, the clients are, which right now we know we're on social media or whatever. But, again, I want to get back to tonality because, there are brands that I'm like, oh my gosh, when the time is right. And to Adam's point, if, all of us ever start making money again or whatever, the world hasn't come to an end, like I would do business with them. And then there are some brands who haven't even acknowledged what's going on in the world, or there are people that are so flippant, like, hey, it didn't affect me, I'm fine, like not cool at any level. Dan, what are your thoughts on what LB said? And I know I'm taking kind of a right turn, but I think it's an important conversation to have for everybody who's on here.
I think it is important because, even kind of wrapping back to the point of what's going on in our world, like even in my business right now today, all automotive, we as a company, even the company that, acquired us, everybody's making the move to giving financial relief, to adding in support, to giving that help right now. Again, even our sales teams have pivoted from selling to serving. And I think that that's critical right now because, you've got a couple problems going on. And I love the fact, LB, you're going to talk about social because that's probably the most thing to talk about. Now that everybody's stuck at home, the frequency of social's gone up exponentially. I was just on a call with Facebook yesterday, Messenger's up 50% usage. Like they're looking at servers and everything for just keeping things running at the capacity load that's continuing to match every day. What's funny is lives are up 50%. I think that was the number. Even live, and I said, is it up because the fact people are doing more lives? And they're like, yeah. And I go, yeah, that's part of the problem. Is that the level of frequency is going up, and yet the problem is people have to understand the situation. Meaning, this isn't the time to just fully turn on the fire hose on getting your content out. in a backhanded way of self-service. You have to be aware and be intentional with your content. Meaning, I'm not going to turn the fire hose and blast you in the face with it while you're facing crisis. I've got to be intentional with what I release and do it in more of a trickling mode than a blast mode. And we're seeing, everybody hit the gas pedal right now. And it's like easy. So you've got some good ones in there, but then you got some ones that can put you in the bad spot to where it's like, dude, I'm just going to put you on pause for the next 30 days because, man, you're not important to me. And so I think that even though these platforms are available, I think people are missing the boat on be intentional. What's your point you're trying to, how are you serving? Not what are you trying to get across? What are you serving? And then at the same point in time, what's that reciprocation level that you're looking for that makes sense in this? Because people, they're still busier in the sense of, if you're a business owner and that's who you're trying to reach, they're trying to figure out, do I keep my employees? How do I keep the lights on? I'm waiting for relief. Is it coming? There's so many other things that outweigh your point right now. So you have to be a little bit more compassionate and caring and understanding of what it is you're trying to convey and when you should convey it.
Yeah, no, that's great. Jody, I want to pivot to you, being the what I would consider, and many of us consider, the leading authority when it comes to female consumers, especially in the automotive space. But I mean, you and I both know you've worked in other spaces. But what is your comments on the tonality and messaging to all consumers, but especially the number one influencer in the world?
It's a great question, and I have actually sat back and not really produce anything but what you would regularly see. And I'm getting ready to launch some things, and I really got to hand it to you, Dan and LB. Without talking to you, that's exactly the approach I'm taking: is compassion, concern, and caring. Those are the three things that I'm focused, and internally too, to my customers, to my people. What I'm going to be launching over the next few weeks all is around concern, caring, and compassion. But that really comes from within me. That's really how I want to respond as a person, as a company right now. I think everything else is in bad taste. I have watched some videos that made me absolutely just my hair stand on end. Oh, now's the time we can really take advantage, and all these kind of talk. And that makes me very sad. I don't approach the world that way. This is not a time to worry about making money. This is a time to be worried about, and especially with women, caring about the family and supporting your customers in ways. This is going to be temporary, a few months, maybe a little longer, but afterward they're going to remember how you made them feel, what you did. And this is especially true with women as consumers and employees, because we're the ones that lead on the purchase as far as the automotive, but just generally
Everything.
We are
100%.
And I cannot generalize, but I will say that we are more nurturing. And I think men need to think more that way right now and how they approach the market and get off the logic and the numbers and get on the compassionate note. They will fare much better in the long run.
Okay, let me ask
I mean,
all
does
of
it go
you.
back though to just being a good human being? I think that's what I mean. Not to oversimplify, but I think this is the point is that we've lost scope on just be a good human being. At the end of the day, be a good human being. And second is that you can't. There's a lot of people trying to put a remedy in for the crisis, right? Like, hey, we're going to come to you. We're going to do this. And my biggest concern that I see across the board is to the point of the word temporary. When it's over, you have to keep in mind all these things that you do, how you treat your employee, what different processes you change up. Those become the new norm and the new expectation. So if you're not committed to the long-term switch here or move or adjustment, you're going to set the wrong tone with your consumer too, because they're going to come to expect these things. You're going to set this new norm. And I think that it's easy to go, if this only lasts a few months, people go, great, back to the way it was. This is how we do business. You come to us. It's like, no. We have to be careful because, again, that's going to set the new standard.
All
Well,
right.
I love what you said, Dan. You said from selling to serving. That's brilliant. Selling to serving. That's what we're about right now. And we
Okay,
should
but
be
guys,
all
but guys and gals, I mean,
100%.
I kind of want to bring out the elephant in the room, and that is people still need to pay their bills, right?
Yeah.
And so I do think that there's a dance between serving and we have to keep the lights on, right? And again, it's the elephant in the room and whatever, but how do we do that? As these business owners are out there and they're like, but wait a minute, like this could be a 2 month or whatever it may be. I still have to pay my bills. How do I do it with class? Jan, I'm going to let you take that one since you are the etiquette expert of the world. How do you do it with class, and compassion? Because
Well,
at the end of the day, we do have to keep America moving forward in business. So we can't just shut down and say, I'm not going to try to do business, but we have to do it in a way that we are people first and customer first, and that we are absolutely aware of that person sitting in front of us might have way more going on than we ever know. So Jan, I'm going to let you take that one.
wow. Well, I can tell you this, that I guess I'm putting myself out there to be judged even in this moment. I've been listening intently to what everyone's saying on this call because I, like other people, I have people on my payroll. I have people that I still have to pay and have to keep the flow going. So one of the things that I did, and let me tell you, I sat with this long and hard, just thinking this through, praying about it, really just doing soul searching about where my heart was about it. And one of the things that we did is in one of our online programs, for an example, an online group coaching program, we slashed our price in half.
Right.
And then said, and you can bring a buddy for free. So they've been wanting to come to this coaching program. There's no better time than now. And guess what? Help someone who can't. Like they can't come, even at half price. And so the response that we had on that was super heartwarming. And I'm sure that it looked, this is not some gimmick. I'm not trying to just think of some. I know people come through the Show Up Well coaching. It does everything we've been talking about on this call. So yes, it's a dance, Lisa, to say, I know what I have will serve the world. And guys, I like my lights being on. I like being able to give. And that's another thing that has really impacted us is to continue to give. When you want to hold on so tight, to go ahead and give here, give there, and let's keep the financial flow going.
Right. And, and it is. And thanks, Jan, for saying that. And again, because it's a dance. And, Adam, I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. Because you're in a business that it's a dance. Like, because at the end of the day, there are people, jobs and lives depend on companies, Dan, and everybody moving forward. And trying to get through the darkest days and trying to hold on by their fingernails, which so many of my friends are right now. And Adam, what is your take on all this?
So I have a couple different directions to go on this. And one is that when it comes to, well, first of all, let me tell you, 6 weeks ago, I put together a bunch of pretty aggressive marketing, really aggressive marketing in my automotive business. Well, I decided to kind of slow that down a little bit. I think now is not the time to hit the market really hard with aggressive advertising. So what I did was I flipped a switch yesterday and I said, you know what, going forward over the next 10 business days, I'm going to offer my coaching complimentary. I reached out to a handful of groups, a couple of really, really big dealer groups. I'm going to be hosting their weekly Zoom meetings. I'm going to just give and serve over the next couple of weeks, just kind of give. Now, but this is what I also believe to be true. If I have a solution or a product to offer a business owner, it's almost criminal not to share that, because at the end of the day, yes, we've got to feed our families and keep our lights on because we have employees that we're committed to. But I almost feel it's criminal if we do not share a solution, and that solution will yield a profit for us. So that's the kind of the way I look at it too. I believe that I've kind of switched gears on acquisition as far as like going out and signing new dealers, signing new, am I going to buy, am I looking for ways to bring in new revenue sources? Maybe not so much over the next couple of weeks. So it's how can I give back from the coaching standpoint? Because I believe that, that will come back around, and I love to coach and I love to serve. So if I'm serving, I'm sure it's always been true. Yeah. Things just happen. When you put positive stuff in the universe, things happen for you. And so I believe that. But then again, on the other side, if I have a solution or a product to give somebody that will yield me a profit, it's criminal not to share that. So that's how I think.
So
yeah,
as
you
everyone
on the
can
long term
see,
right now.
I mean, it's a touchy subject. Dan, I didn't mean to cut you off. What do you have to say about that?
No, I'm just saying that you got to bet on. I mean, you're going to lose on the short term. You got to bet on the long term, and you've got to try and weather it the best way you can. Now, as decisions make, I mean, I think that there's some companies that pulled the rug out a little too quick. I mean, the fact that you don't even wait for the package to come out to figure out how that sets you up. If you keep your employees, you get X amount of, you can loan, you can do some adjustment, you get some forgiveness. I mean, sometimes you try to weather the storm versus just hit the panic button and jump. I'm fortunate to work for a big organization that is looking at the long-term play and making those adjustments. So I think that there's a lot of that goes into this consideration. And to Adam, your point is spot on, is you have a solution. And if that solution benefits right now, and I mean, for us, our solution is helping dealers make sense of their marketing, right? So, I mean, for us, it's like, why wouldn't we help you get that on? I mean, literally after this, I'm on another call because that's what we're doing right now is, hey, we will look at anything that you're doing for marketing and give you some suggestion recommendations so that you can optimize for each stage of what's open, what closes, so on, because it's ever changing right now. And I love the fact of, I think we're all in agreement. The word of this whole epidemic is going to be the word fluid. Everything that we have to do is fluid because we're going to pivot at any given moment. And that's more critical than anything. So if we can offer that up, right, and love on our dealers, because at the end of the day, we're all betting on them to succeed. Because if they don't succeed, we don't succeed. So why wouldn't you?
The country doesn't succeed, Dan. If the automotive industry doesn't succeed, I mean, we're the second for GDP. Like
small business. If small businesses don't succeed, the country doesn't succeed. Correct. So that's the whole point, which I love seeing on Facebook. And this is some of the positivity, is that you see everybody picking up their meals from their local restaurants, supporting them still, even their clothes, leaving extra tips, doing what they can. I saw a picture on Facebook. I thought it was brilliant. The neighbors put a box out and they're just putting what they have, toilet paper, wipes, so on, here, have at it. Like, this is the part where community and Lyft is going to change the outcome, which is, I think, so timing to what you're putting together, Lisa, and so brilliant in the sense of other ways. Sometimes people just need, and I think everybody's leaning in on it right now. Now it's Zoom happy hour. So, I mean, look at what we're doing. We're changing the things, right? I'll get there after my
Cheers,
next
Jody.
Cheers.
but that's where we're at, right? So, again, I think you just got to lean in and do the things that make sense and bet on the long term all the way through.
Well, can I say something here that, I think that what's happening right now is unprecedented in our time. I mean,
of course.
And so people, human beings, and for those of you who are human beings will hear this, is that, fear can be a very positive or a very negative predictor of behavior.
Yep.
And people are very fearful. When you said knee-jerk reactions, you see, I'm an old gal and I've gone through a lot of things. So I've learned, I'm going to give some advice to everyone. You need to slow down and stop making quick decisions. Emotionally charged, fearful decisions, usually always bad. And this is what we have to share, our experience with others. This is great. I'm hearing things I needed to hear during just this little chat. Reminders that we are all in this together, and for dealers and vendors and suppliers and even outside of automotive, we need to hear from each other to be reminded of best practices, because you tend to lose your mind when you're filled with fear and frustration, especially it hits you on multiple fronts. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I'm one of those people that's really not supposed to leave home and go to the grocery store. And shopping has become a new, like my grocery shopping has become a whole challenge.
It's like,
That's new. And, you know, I think we need to have compassion and hear and be that calming voice. Those of us who have maturity in the industry, for those who cannot, who are, I mean, I've talked to a lot of dealers and my clients, and they are literally flipping out. You know, we've got to, everybody calm down. We got to think these things through and make the best decision for the day.
well, Jody, thank you.
Jody, I do a program on outwitting fear, and that's exactly what's going on right now. People fall into their core fears immediately. Instead of taking time to respond and think it through, they're reacting out of their core fear. And you are absolutely right. Breathe.
Well, high emotion, low intelligence, right? That's high emotion, low intelligence. Well, everyone, our time here has come to an end because we've got another show right after this one, and I might need a fill up.
A refill.
Yes. Well, there's several people on here that know. So
Cheers, guys.
I hope everybody that catches this on the replay or has watched this live. So if you're on it right now, send this out, the replay. You will see this is the level of conversations. None of these business experts, you know, really, none of them, a couple of them knew each other, but nobody knew what we were going to talk about. But look at the gold that just came out of this. Different perspectives, different, and be able to have hard conversations that we need to have as friends, as business owners, as a country, as a world right now. And that is what the summit is going to bring. So reminder, share this out. We're starting tomorrow night at 11 p.m. Central, midnight Eastern Standard Time. I will be kicking it off. And 46 of the most amazing humans on planet Earth that were vetted. They get paid tens and thousands of dollars what to do when they're consultants, and a day sometimes, and they're giving it all for free. Every one of us, there will not be a pitch. There will not be one dime collected on this. This is our way of giving back and helping every one of us on planet Earth try to move forward through some really, really tough times. So for those of you who enjoyed this, I'm going to be on again in about 13 minutes. Next week's panelists. But anyways, Jan, Jody, Adam, LB, and Dan, I am forever grateful. Thank you for everything that you all do in the world. And I look forward to watching all of your sessions. Bye, y'all.
Good night, y'all.
Love you.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Hi.
Okay, that was great.
There you have it.
Yeah. But I mean, I just think that's good conversation. You know?
I think that's kind of what people are looking for, is just, hey, let me hear a calming voice that helps navigate these challenging times.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So anyways, I really do need to go get a fill up before the
All
next
right,
one.
I got to go.
All right. Love you.
Talk
All
to you
right.
later. See you.
Bye.
Bye.